Welcome, everyone, to week 7 of a 10-week series that we're hosting at the Olin R. Wilson Center in Galax, Virginia. This week, we are having our SMART Goals check-in. So it's pretty short and sweet, but we had some really great conversation this week, kind of evaluating the progress that we have made with our goals and kind of taking the action steps to continue to reach our goal. We started by remembering what our SMART acronym stood for. And so I asked our group members if they remembered. They remembered a couple, but I threw this in here as a refresher. So S stands for specific. So making sure, that we have a particular activity or occupation that we're participating in. M stands for measurable. So making sure that our goal is able to be measured. Also, we want to make sure our goal is achievable. So it's suitable for us and the amount of time that we've designated to our goal. R for relevant, we want to make sure that this is meaningful to us, right? It's something that we want to do that we're going to be motivated by and it's relevant. And then time limited. So just having a realistic amount of time and that we can reach this goal. And then I also asked them if they remembered why we set goals and why it's important to set goals. And they did. They also remembered a couple of the things that I gave a few weeks ago. This was back in our second week, and we talked about improving and tracking results, and helps us. It kind of helps, I guess, draw the path for reaching our goal, and it's a tangible tool that we can use to help guide our progress and focus our attention on reaching the goal. Two, it provides us a sense of control. And I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with also holding it holds us accountable. And, with setting goals, you have control over what the goal is, what the time frame is. And so that can be really reassuring in general. And then three, of course, holding you accountable and um, making sure that they are specific and they are attainable. It makes it feel like you can get them done, and having the time also kind of gives you you're time bound, so you're able to make sure that you get it done within that specific amount of time that you set for yourself. And then lastly, it motivates you. So you, again, these all kind of go into each other, but you have the power and you are motivated by your current circumstances. So you can change those poor habits and you can develop healthier routines. And I think that's the part that really drives people to continue to achieve goals and create goals. And so these are all things that we want to continue to keep in mind as we are checking in on our goals this week. So why do we check in? Like, why is that important to check in on SMART goals? Well, it's important to remind ourselves of our goal. I think life can get in the way and we can kind of lose sight sometimes of our goal and the time frame that we've set and really sticking to that. And it's a time to also kind of refresh them, revise them, look back at it. If you don't like the way it's worded, rewording. And of course, assessing our progress and seeing where we're at and reaching that goal. And then lastly, we can identify action steps to continue to reach that goal, maybe adding some action steps so that we can reach that goal sooner or within our time frame. And so we reflected a lot this week. We just talked about the individuals and their goals and where they were at. We talked about things that were going well, what they felt like some of their big wins were. I asked what's working, and one of the girls shared that, actually writing down what she has a weight loss goal. So writing down the things that she is eating, no fear, just writing down everything that she ate, whether it was good for her or bad that day. She said that that is really holding her accountable and really helping her to stay away from the foods that were easy to eat and but not healthy and not helping her reach her goal. And so we talked about things like that and just how we're doing with our goal. How do we feel about our progress? What's not going so well? We continued with some other questions about our progress. Are we happy with it? Are we unhappy? Um, have you been able to put in the time that you've wanted? Have you had any setbacks? What's holding you back? Is it fear? Are you making excuses? So we just really were able to kind of talk through and reflect on our goals. And we had some great conversation and really able to kind of discover maybe what's been holding us back that we can create action steps to make sure that it doesn't in the future and that we can reach our goal. So first we started with revising and refreshing. So it's important to know that your goals are not set in stone. You can absolutely edit them at any time because you're in control. It's your goal. And so if it doesn't feel quite right, make sure you can rewrite it with fresh words, something that feels better, sounds better, is more motivating. If you aren't excited about it, it's okay because you're probably not going to reach it. So let it go and create a new one. If you, again, like if you aren't pumped about it, you're not going to complete it. So why don't you focus on completing the ones that you know that you're going to complete and rock, and then connect your goal back to your why. Because sometimes our why can be what's motivating, right? So it's important to always remember that. And then dig deep to consider why this goal is important. So when you are, connecting it back to your why, dig deep to figure out what that why was and why did you choose this goal? Why was it meaningful to you? And that right there is a motivator in and of itself. And if it doesn't really resonate with you at a deep level, you probably aren't going to be motivated to work on it. Just action steps in general. It's important to consider, the action steps that you need to take in order to get to reaching your goal. And if you're unsure, work your way back. So think about like where you're at once you've reached your goal. What did it take to get there? Write down the milestones that you need to achieve on your way to the finish line. And we talked about, an action step, I think, for one of our friends that shared was continuing to write, at the end of the day, write down everything I ate, because that action step she had discovered, early on, maybe she didn't design that to be or have thought about that, but it ended up being something that really helped push her in the right direction to reaching her goal. So, think about it like that, working back from your goal. And the steps that you need to reach it. And then look at the first milestone and brainstorm kind of some actions you can take to reach it. So if you want to lose 10, if your goal is to lose 10 pounds in 2 months or a month. So break your milestones into weeks. So how much are you going to lose a week? And then write your action steps. How are you going to obtain, reaching that in 1 week? And then design or designate time to work on your goal. So I think we all know, we're not gonna be able to reach our goal if we don't put in the time and the effort to do so. And this is one of the main reasons goals fails because we don't give them the time that they need. If your goal is along the lines of working out or whatever it may be, put reminders in your phone, put things on your phone. Like if it's not in your calendar and you haven't designated time, you're not going to do it. So make sure that every day you have carved out the time, and get specific. Instead of saying that, you're going to work out twice a week, go ahead and say, okay, I'm working out on Tuesday and Thursday. Those are my days at 4 o'clock, whatever. And like it's set, you're going. Nobody can hang out with you, like that's what you're doing. So that can be really helpful when you get specific. So we worked on this together as a group, just to kind of check in on our goals. And I just encouraged them to take their time and they wrote down what their goal was. And again, we just answered with some of like the reflection questions that we talked about at the beginning. And then if they felt like they needed to refresh it, I had left that down there for at the bottom for them. And they found this worksheet to be very beneficial. They put a lot of time and effort into it, and they really did take their time to work through their goal because these goals are meaningful to them and they aren't happy with their progress. And so they really are trying to reach this goal in their designated amount of time. And so they found this to be very, very beneficial. And that was it. Just a few reminders. And next week, we're going to be talking about kind of some home safety, education around adaptive equipment, some community mobility and caregiving, just kind of a handful of things that we're going to be talking about next week. And of course, please always join us. You can sign up here. Let me know you're coming on Tuesday or Thursday. We offer them one in the evening on Tuesdays, and then Thursdays kind of late afternoon. And we meet in the back conference room. And if you would not, you don't want to come to our meetings or you can't, that's okay. I would love to still meet with you and talk to you about some of these things that we go over, or discuss any personal kind of things that you're going through. So you can sign up here, and uh, sign up for a one-on-one session with me. But of course, please always reach out if you have any questions or anything. This is my phone number and email. And we hope to see you next week.